Spring break of 2019 is upon us. Hopefully that makes everybody a little bit happy. Means you get a break off from school. And how does that work in an online class when we have four different campuses, but we have 2 different weeks of spring break? So everybody does it a little bit differently. And so I'm going to explain in this short screencast how spring break is going to work. First of all, I want to apologize again for being a little bit out of touch last week. It took me 3 days to get my son's house opened up. He had multiple 8 to 10 foot drifts across his driveway. And in the middle of it, our skid steer decided to quit running. So we got it running, and we finally got all the snow moved Saturday morning early. And so he finally got out. But anyway, it's been quite a week. On top of all that, for some reason, I all of a sudden got dizzy and couldn't drive anything or hardly even stand up. So it was a fun few days. But we've made it through, and we prevailed, and we've come out on the other end, and today starts a whole new week, thankfully. I want to explain this to you just a little bit so that everybody understands that we're on the same page. So Larimer campus has spring break starting today, March the 18th, and it runs through Sunday the 24th. Westminster, Boulder, and Brighton have spring break starting the 25th, which is a week from today, and it runs through Sunday, March 31st. So as a result of that, it's actually pretty simple. It just looks really complex. So notice on the screen that I have spring break week 9 right here. And I've separated them out so that you know that spring break for Larimer is here, spring break for Westminster is here. Okay, so let's talk about what's due this week. First of all, there is no reading journal due this week. So everybody can shout, clap, stand up, cheer, send me money. However you want to do it, we can make that all happen. So there also is no quiz this week because there obviously is no reading journal this week. So there's only 2 things that are due in the next 2 weeks. So we have a 2-week period that's going to be 1 class. So during the next 2 weeks, all you have to do is meet the responsibilities of that 1 week's worth of assignments. The first is our discussion post. Let's talk about how discussions will work this week. The discussion opened this morning at 12:01 a.m. Your first post is due by March 27th, but if you are from Boulder or Westminster or Brighton, and you say, I'm going to be in Cancun next week, or I'm going to be skiing next week, or I'm just not showing up next week because I don't have to, that's fine. You don't have to. However, if that is you, you better be involved in discussions during this week, week 1. Okay, because you're still in school. If you're from Westminster, Boulder, or Brighton, you're still on campus this week. So if you're not going to show up next week, that's fine, but make sure that you do all your postings during this week. And you can do your postings over Saturday and Sunday during this week time only because it's a 1-week period being done in a 1-week class being done in a 2-week period. Okay, so if you're from Larimer, it makes it easy because everything falls due the end of this week, which would be like a normal week if you didn't show up this week. So here's what needs to be done. You can post anytime starting today. Okay, if you want to do all your posts today through this week, that's fine with me. I have no problem with that. Okay, because I understand that you're on spring break next week. I'm on spring break next week too, so I'm not going to be involved much during this week. I'll check at the end a few times, but I've got a lot of things I have to get done in over spring break. So once again, during the postings, you can post anytime you want to in the next, 12 days. As long as you post your initial post before March 27th or by March 27th, and you post on a minimum of 3 days. You don't have to post more than 4 times. Some students are involved in the discussion over the entire 2-week period, and that's fine with me if you want to do that. Excuse me. But once again, just so you post 4 times on 3 days over the next 12, you can meet the requirement of the postings. I also like you to review those postings and read them just like a normal week. I am a little bit easier on it when I come to grading, But I really would like you still to be involved in the reading of your classmates' posts. Okay? Number 2, there is a short writing assignment due, and it will be due on Monday, the 31st of March, and it's due by 11:59, or Sunday, the 31st of March. Just like any normal writing assignments due on Sunday night, this one is the same. However, if you want to post that and you want to submit it at the end of this week, that's fine with me too. You can post it and submit it anytime. It just has to be done by this date. So hopefully you understand a little bit of how spring break is going to work. You have 2 weeks to complete all the assignments. Okay? And all the assignments fall due at the end of this second week period like they would if it were just a 1 week period. First post by Wednesday, assignments due on Sunday. Remember, there is no reading journal, and remember, there is no quiz because we're not reading a new chapter. We're continuing chapter 9 and the thought process of chapter 9. So just please be involved in the discussion for chapter 9 and get your writing assignment in. And I want everybody to enjoy a spring break. I'm going to challenge you. I think it is smart for you to take some time off. If you're going to class on campus, whatever campus classes you're going to, when they're off, that's when you should take off. So I'm going to say take the time, okay? Don't feel obligated and say, oh, I've got to be involved in this for 24 days or whatever it is. No, you don't. All you got to do is your responsibilities that you normally have done, but take some time off. Everybody needs a break. It's the middle of the semester, and semesters can get long. So I challenge you to take some time off, have a little bit of fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Stay out of trouble. If you get thrown in jail, please don't call me because I'm not going to bail you out. Okay? Other than that, have a great time. Stay sober. And we'll see you in class over the next few weeks.